Hello, Wastelanders, and welcome to this week's actual play. Today, we are diving into Modiphius's Fallout RPG and playing through their starter scenario with a bang or a whimper. This will take place probably over the next couple weeks. Warning, the shenanigans you are about to see are the same we have as our home table. And of course, as we are learning the rules, and this is our first playthrough, we may make mistakes. Don't hesitate to let us know in the comments below if you see us mess this up, or if you have suggestions on maybe some of the home rules that you've used in the past to make Fallout 2D20 a smoother experience. Of course, if I do mess up and I know the rules, it's just because I'm still nervous doing these live plays, so I apologize. So even though we do this for fun, please be aware that this will likely have themes and language that are geared towards mature audiences, so viewer discretion is advised. So today we've got our two roll-wise guys, Brent and Jeff, and since we're going to be starting this, we're actually going to be starting this with me setting the scene. So once we get the scene set, then I'll ask these guys to introduce their characters, and we will begin the game. So we all good on sound?
Yes, I think
Perfect.
so.
Sounds good.
So we started tonight a little bit later because we were having some sound issues, obviously computer issues for everyone. Yeehaw. Happy New Year. So tonight, Grief Town celebrates its first Founders Day. It has been 1 year since a selfless wanderer saved this community and turned Grief Town into a veritable paradise in the Commonwealth. The town has taken on a festive atmosphere, and folks have set up food and drink booths as well as they've got games to play. Unfortunately, your celebrations ended early when Jesse Pettigrew, the leader of this town, asked a favor and informed you that Joseph and Teresa had not arrived and they were expected to help with Founders Day activities. Jesse wanted you to check on them at their Rad Hog farm on the outskirts and see if they're okay. You now stand just outside the small farm of Joseph and Teresa, a kind old ghoul couple who never showed up. And before you, the front door of the one-story adobe farmhouse is shattered into a pile of wooden scraps that lie just beyond the dark interior of the home. Lively music and the sounds of revelry drift from the center of town, just audible of the whistling winds of a coming storm. From within the farmhouse, there is only silence. So with this, we begin. Can you guys go ahead and introduce your characters? By what do people in the town know your two names? Jeff, do you want to start?
Yeah, my name is Carl Conway. I am a traveling merchant that does a circuit of different small towns. I take requests and look for items that people need, and I try to bring them back on the bi-monthly basis kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on incidents and weather and the vagaries of walking along. And try to eke out a living and share news and stories.
Okay, perfect. And Brent, what do others in the town know about your character?
My character is McIntosh. I am a super mutant, an exceptionally large super mutant who started following Crawl around and eventually helped him out of some situations and just eventually kind of fell in as his bodyguard.
Okay, so traveling partners, one could say, symbiotic in relationship. You help each other out. So these are some questions just to kind of define your character a little bit more.
Okay.
What is one moment from your past when you lost something important to you, and what did you lose?
Interesting question. For me, it was my original partner in the merchant business,
Okay.
Bob.
Okay, that's your one Bob for this adventure. Their quest is what they can say.
Neil.
Bob Neal.
No, Richard was his name.
Richard was his name.
Yes.
Sounds good. Okay.
We
How'd
were
you-
attacked by some scavs, and Richard was killed. Even worse, our Brahmin Loretta was almost killed.
Okay.
But I was able to nurse Loretta and myself back to health. Unfortunately, Richard made the ultimate sacrifice for the business. I inherited the full business that day, but had to try to do it alone and didn't really want a partner after that. It was kind of a tough loss. That's why it took it took my new friend here a while of following me around before I would come to my senses and realize that doing this alone was a fool's errand.
Okay. That's good. That's good. And so he's got a little bit of loss in terms of a partner. What about you, Brent?
I was raised by like a Mr. Handy robot. It taught me how to read and stuff. And then one day I woke up and it was just gone. And I'm kind of still looking for it.
Okay. So Mr. Handy that's gone away. All right. So what does your character look like as they see this scene before them? What is their demeanor? So you see a door smashed in, splinters going inside to the farmhouse, and it's dark. You're not inside the farmhouse just yet, but what do you guys do? How do you react?
Well, that door being in that condition makes me fear the worst.
Yeah, I get my bat ready and get ready to go inside. Like, I know that we're supposed to look for him, and that's all I really know.
Yeah, I think we need to go in and look. I have my pistol out.
Okay. Do you guys have a specific method that you approach this kind of danger? Like,
Well, I mean, I go in first.
do you put the meat shield in front of you, Jeff?
No, he just walks in front of me.
Yeah.
His strides are much longer.
How tall was your character?
How tall are super mutants? Like
they're pretty tall, aren't they? Like 7-8 foot tall. I don't think it mentions.
So. Like 8 feet tall. We'll say 8 feet tall.
Okay. So this small adobe farmhouse is a wreck. In the living room, that basically as you go through the door, you kind of duck under. The floor is scattered with broken picture frames, simple jewelry, blood-soaked farm tools. And you hear a slow, quiet dripping sound. There's a slow, quiet dripping sound that you hear when you're looking back towards a small kitchen. On the wall, besides an archway, so as you're looking, you kind of see like the living room is separated, and there's like a kitchen behind, kind of an arch that supports the roof. Is an old ghoul woman wearing a bloody nightgown. Her rotted skin is falling away from her face in folds that flap about in the kind of as she's dangling there. You can see that a garden hoe is thrust through her sternum, impaling her to this wall. And Jeff, you definitely recognize this impaled ghoul as Teresa. Her eyes are frozen, wide with fear, and her chin is slumped down towards her chest. She's not breathing.
I would move over to check her pulse.
Okay.
It seems like a silly thing to do, but out here in the wasteland, we've seen some crazy things. So I go over to see if she's breathing and has a heartbeat.
Okay. And Brent, while he's going over to kind of do a check there, what are you doing?
I start looking around for the other occupants of the house.
Okay.
So I'll like look around on the bottom floor, and then is there a second floor?
It's a single floor. You see that there's basically the kitchen, the living room, and then off to the side there's a bedroom.
So yeah, I'll start checking the rooms just to make sure there's no one else there, or to see if I can find the husband. And also, I duck my head because I'm apparently 10 feet tall.
10 feet tall. Yeah, you kind of have to squat as you go in there. Okay, so we'll get to you in just a second, Brent. Let's start and resolve Jeff's first. So in terms of like, checking a ghoul and everything like that, there is you get a little bit closer as you go into like check for a pulse. Where do you check? Neck, wrist? What is your
Probably the neck. Feel
Okay.
that's probably where you get the strongest.
Yeah.
If
As
if there is a pulse.
your fingers go in, you kind of squish against like, it's a different texture of skin that you're used to.
Sure.
And as you go around kind of feeling for a pulse, you roll over what would probably be where the section where the arteries and veins are, and you're not feeling anything coming from her. Of course, as you do, her head kind of like softly flops back and forth.
All right. Are her eyes open or shut?
Open, and they're kind of like staring off into the distance, but kind of like wide-eyed.
I note that she appeared terrorized, but I do try to shut her eyelids.
Okay. So Brent, as you go through the small farmhouse, it doesn't take you very long to kind of clear the house. I mean, the entire place is a wreck. And so, I mean, if you're looking like it's kind of a little bit of a, at an initial glance, it's hard to say that just them having a fight would make this place this destroyed. But as you go through, you check the bedroom, you check the adjacent bathroom, and you don't see that there's any people hiding in any nooks or crannies or anything like that.
Okay, so after that, I come back out and I say, that's what I tell Crawl. I say, no one's hiding in the house, boss.
No, okay. Teresa's definitely dead, and somebody enjoyed killing her way too much. She looked like she had seen a ghost. We need to go back to town and tell the mayor, sheriff, both of them possibly. They're probably in the same location with the Founders Day celebration going on. But yeah, we need to go back into town and let them know. We should look and see. Is there another exit? Is it only the front door?
There is a back door that leads to that basically goes out to their barn that they have.
Let's go out the back, see if we can see any trail from anyone that doesn't, that looks out of the norm or fresher, and see if there's anything in the barn. And then we'll go back to town. I don't think we should separate if there's murders on the loose.
Okay.
I nod. Go out first.
Okay. So as you kind of leave the room, you notice that it seems like there are probably fresher prints that lead this way than what you that see in other places, and they do go to the barn. The wind is picking up right now, and so you can kind of see, how the barn have those like kind of sliding doors. They kind of look like they're pulling a little bit away from the barn itself, but the barn doors themselves are closed because this is a rad hog farm. You do hear the gentle squeals of pigs out in their pens and everything like that. You can tell that they're a little upset. And just a side note, apparently there are no pigs in the Fallout world, but rad hogs were something they were thinking about introducing, so that's what we get. They're not typically domesticated, but since the lore isn't very deep on them, these guys have rad hogs. Why not?
Sounds good.
Okay.
So you do hear them squealing in their pen out back as well.
Yeah, it looks like somebody came through here. Well, we should get over there and check out the barn. Be careful. I don't want to get ambushed. Since you're leading the way.
I go kick open the door to the barn.
Okay,
That's fair.
so you get over to the barn. The barn is one of the. It's a typical barn. It's got the door and everything like that. In this case, you would assume that they would um, slide, but if you want to kick it open, sure.
It's a sliding barn door. It's not an opening barn door.
Well, they like barn doors typically slide to the side either as a full thing into there. I don't know how many barns you've been in, but they
A
don't tend
lot.
to. They don't tend
Yeah. The ones I've been in do.
Yeah.
They usually open out. But okay, I just slide the barn door open.
Okay. I've all the ones I haven't, I guess. Well, I mean, we're talking like a main barn door. Or are you talking like an actual door? Because the barn has
Like a main barn door. They're usually gate style.
Yeah, they usually have like two.
At least here.
I have seen some rolling ones, but I most of them
here.
You need a door big enough to get a wagon in and out.
Yeah. So okay, well, at least in my experience, maybe I've just been
That's
to different
fair.
barns. So yeah, these ones slide open, so one goes halfway.
Kicking it open is much more cinematic, I would like to point out.
Okay.
Well, even if it opened out, it would still be exceptionally hard. So I just throw them open.
Okay. So as the wooden barn door creaks sliding open, you hear an explosion from the inside. Bang.
Okay, so assuming that we've heard gunfire before.
Yep, this is going to be a gunfire. This is going to be gunfire that's at Brent, so he gets the first shot of the day. So this is when we start to have much more fun. Now, with combat, the interesting thing about combat is that there is effectively a surprise round, if that makes sense. So the person who takes the first action gets to go first, and then you guys go by initiative order. And so in this case, because the person shooting from the barn at you is shooting first, they get to resolve that action first, and then we'll get to the actual combat sequence.
Yep.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Combat. So the first thing is combat. Agility plus small guns and target number. 8. Okay. So in this, whenever you make checks with 2d20s, and that's kind of your baseline. You then, of course, spend action points to go to increase the number of d20s that you have, if you have action points. And so I'm going to roll 2d20. His target number is 8. So he rolls 1 success. What is your defense, Brent?
8.
Okay. So with this, because he's got a double-barreled shotgun.
My defense is 1. Sorry, my initiative is 8.
Sorry, that's what I understood. He gets to roll 5 combat dice. Okay, so right out of the gate, he does 0, 0, 1 effect, 2, 4. So he does 5 damage plus 1 effect, and I believe this is 1 second. So it does the effects of spread, vicious, physical damage, inaccurate, two-handed. Okay, so yeah. So we'll do the combat. So let's do this. Okay. Qualities. Okay, so it does a +1 damage because of the vicious effect, and with spread. Okay, so I'm going to roll a d20 for the locations. 2. Okay. And you're McClintock. So 2 would be your head. And with the spread, it will go to another place. And 11, which would be your left arm. And so with that, we get 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 total damage to your head and 3 damage to your left arm. So that's total.
So that's 9 damage, not 6?
That's 9 damage right there. And I just have to do one thing real quick, just to double check, because I think it does earn a critical. But surprise, this is what shooting through a door does. Critical hit, 32.
Shooting through a door seems like a fairly difficult challenge.
Well, not when you're just standing in front of it. I don't think he so much shot through it as he shot when it opened.
That's true.
Okay. So with that being so you get an injury, Brent. Your head, basically the shot to your head momentarily dazes you and you lose your normal actions in your next turn, although you may spend action points for extra actions as normal.
And all tests of difficulty by +2. Got it.
Yep. So and so you are going to be dizzy until you receive medical attention. So that'll probably be when you basically stop in whatever this is. So after you get shot in the head, apparently, it's the first time hey, welcome to Fallout. I just shot you in the head.
He kind of shot me everywhere. That's what scatter does.
Yeah. You see basically standing, as your lights adjust to the scene in front of you, you see Joseph. And Jeff, you know who Joseph is. You see his eyes are wide and mad and is holding his teeth in a grimace. And you can see that there's a glisten of drool that spills down from the corners of his lips. For some reason, he seems to be wearing several layers of shirts, sweaters, jackets. Do you guys remember that Weezer Pork and Beans video from like 2006?
No, but when you say layered clothes, I understand what you mean.
Yeah, he's wearing a lot of layers, like more than just like a t-shirt, long sleeve shirt, jacket. Like he's got multiple layers on. And you can see that like as he tries to move, it causes him to be a little awkward, kind of like a Michelin Man, but not that much. You see that it's kind of as he's looking at you, his neck does twitch, and his voice cracks as he calls up, "I don't know her. I don't know her. I don't know any of you." And he raises up the smoking double-barrel shotgun. Okay. So initiative.
Except for me, I don't get to go this turn.
Unless you want to spend action points.
Do we have
But your
any?
initiative, so his initiative is 16. Jeff, yours is
16.
16?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I should have checked to see what happens when you had a tie in initiative.
But we don't have any action points yet, right?
I
don't think we started any with
double check. Action points. You can do what's called a rally to get action points. And we can talk about that in a second.
Go ahead and look up Jeff's stuff. I'll look up rally.
Initiative. 24. Okay. I'm of the mind just to give you the Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and have you go first, Jeff. And so whatever you'd like to do with your turn, you get one minor action and one major action to spend.
Well, Joseph's already claimed that he doesn't know us.
Mm-hmm.
He's already shot my partner.
He did.
I'm going to try to pull him clear at least, where Joseph, can't see us.
Okay.
Instead of sitting in the main area. And that would be a major action, right?
Well, you're saying like pull him back into an area?
Or
Yeah,
push,
like
push me
behind
out of
the
the way.
wall of the barn, so that he can't be seen to be shot again.
Sure. So let's take a look. I think that might just be a minor action because he's not going to resist you doing that, I don't think. Yeah, so this says if you want to interact with your equipment or environment in a minor way, that would be probably a little bit less.
Okay.
First aid, heal, pass, rally, ready, sprint, test. It would probably be a major action. To pretty much push him out of the way and all those kind of things. And then you could still take a minor action.
Yeah, the minor actions seem like most games. Not super exciting.
You can move me out of the way and yell at him, though, I think.
Yeah,
Or you can move out of the way, draw your gun for a next turn.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to draw my gun and talk while I'm moving him.
Okay. What are you going to say?
No, I'm trying to keep it PG. So, Joseph, you murdering son of a gun. We found your sweet Teresa murdered in the house. Are you telling me that you did that?
I don't know who that was, and I don't know why you'd think I know. He says, kind of rambling.
You've slept next to her for the last 30 years, you idiot.
That's not who I was sleeping next to. And you hear, like, basically you heard the and two shells get shoved into the double barrel shotgun. And as you kind of can feel the hammer being cocked back, and you see let's see, 1 second. Applications. This has got a lot of stuff here. Nice.
What are you looking for?
Just small gun complications. Okay. So so basically you hear the clicking of the hammer going back, and then you hear the trigger being pulled, but it's just kind of like that. And then he starts yelling to himself. He's like, "God, son of a bitch, what the hell?" And you can hear him struggling with his gun.
Should have bought that cleaning oil I offered him.
Yep, should have. Okay. So Brent, you do have a minor action that you can take if you'd like.
I don't have anything to do at the moment. I mean, I can do a rally, I guess, but it kind of says is that only for moving through difficult terrain?
No, rally is another major action that you have where you're.
Oh, is it? Then I don't have anything to do really, other than hold my head where I'm bleeding.
Okay.
I'm kind of waiting to see what boss does.
Okay, so your turn then. Your turn then, Jeff, and you hear from inside the barn. You hear the string of curse words as you hear him fiddling with his gun and everything like that.
The sheriff's coming. You just admitted that you murdered your wife. It's not going to end well for you, so you might as well throw that gun out now and make it easier on everybody. And I'm going to stick my head around the door and take a shot with my 38 caliber pipe gun.
Pipe gun. Okay. And so I did check yours. You didn't actually have your gun listed, and I don't know if you noticed, but you have a target number of 12 for your small guns and agility.
Okay, so 2 D20s.
Yep, 2 D20s.
A 13 and a 7.
Okay, so you do hit. His defense is 1, so it does damage. So in this case, you have 3 combat dice worth of damage.
And so
Does he get any action points from the roll he just made?
Well, it's by the number that you succeed by. So like, so if the difficulty is 1 and you get 1 success, then you don't get action points. But if you'd have gotten 2 successes, then you'd have gotten 1 action point.
So the combat dice are D6s that I roll then?
Yep, you'll roll D6s, and it's got that kind of janky.
All right, I got a 6, a 5, and a 6. I'm rolling in the DD dice roller.
Those are all damage, I think.
Yep. So 6. So with your gun, that's going to be 3 damage. And then roll a location for me.
What do I roll for the location? Sorry,
D20.
1 D20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. D20 coming up. 9.
Left arm. Shoot him right in the left arm. Okay. So you do some good damage. 3 damage right to his left arm. Okay. All right. And you can tell that triggers another set of explicitive swear words as he's like, yeah, you bastard, you shot me. Not, I mean, from your perspective, it doesn't really, I mean, you're like, well, you shot me first.
Yeah, you shot my partner and killed a woman, you murdering son of a bitch.
That's not my woman.
I don't care if you don't think she's your woman. She definitely is, but whether she is or not, you still killed her with a hoe.
When I'm done with you, you're going to be nothing but pig food.
Either way, you're going to be dead.
As you hear him,
going to kill you.
You hear the shotgun click open, and you can see that he seems to have resolved whatever jam that he had.
Okay.
So Brent, it is your turn.
I'm gonna go around the back and see if there's another way in, because I'm not just gonna rush him and get shot again and die.
Yeah, there's there's a door on the side that you can take. So basically what you see is that there's the main, well, actually there's all the way around the back. Yeah. So there's the door that you've opened, and then there's another door that opens. And pretty much you're going to go all the way to the other end, kind of like run around and do all
If there's
that.
another door, I'll stop at that door.
Okay.
I'll use that door, the next door.
Sure.
And I'll fling it open, but not stand in front of it. So, well, I don't want to fling it open. I'm going to wait for Jeff's crawl to take another shot at him, and then I'll open it.
Okay.
Good call.
So basically, okay, yeah. So you like stand by the door. You're at the ready. You hear Jeff and this guy trading barbs. He's going to turn you into pig food. You're going to get him.
Well, yeah, because I have to rush inside and hit him with my bat. I have a gun, but I'm not going to be able to hit him with it. So
you do have sausage fingers, let's say. Go ahead, Jeff. It's your turn.
I'm going to hurl some more. Oh, hey, Sheriff. I'm glad you're here. We got the murdering son of a bitch cornered in the barn. All he's got's a shotgun. I'm glad you brought all 6 of your deputies. And then I stick my head around the corner and I got a 10 and a 20.
You got a 10 and a 20?
20 is a complication.
So you do succeed, but you have a complication. So why don't you go ahead and for this we'll just do it'll affect your damage. So do your 3 damage dice, but I believe it does 1. We'll do 1 less damage because you just gun was not as good of a shot as you thought it
A
was.
1, a 4, and a 1.
So
Okay, so that'd be 1 more damage.
1 more damage.
Okay, so he's going to shoot at you, Jeff. You know, you've been running your mouth, and he says, if the sheriff was there, they'd be shooting at me too. You're liars, just like she was. He's basically calling you on your bluff. You think you're not really sure.
That's fine. I still made it.
You did. Okay, so he rolls his 2d20. Okay, so Jeff, he does 1, but let me just double check. 38. Okay. 2.
I feel like the answer is grenades, Jeff, just for the record.
Yeah, improvised explosives in the Wasteland probably always goes swimmingly.
1, 2, 3, 4. So you take. It looks like you take 4 damage, but one of those did have an effect on it. So I'm going to roll 2d20 here. Or sorry. So the first one hits you in your 19, and the second one hits you in your 16. So
it's on your character sheet.
Yeah.
19 is the right leg, and 16 is the left leg. He hit
basically, you stepped out to take a shot, and he swept your feet out from under you. You have no damage reduction there, so it'll be 6 total health that you take, 6 HP.
Not 4, it's 6.
Yeah, because you take 4 on the one leg and 2 on the other.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think the HP on the character sheet, I believe that was for power armor. We didn't really have any power armor, so we didn't have to really worry. So
the maximum HP.
Yeah, so your maximum, so your current HP is going to be, like reduced by whatever it is.
What HP are you talking about? Well, I mean, there's HP on each of your limbs too.
That's for power armor, not for you. So your health is
where
I'm
just going under my health.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it actually did something.
If you have power armor, it's my understanding that it has HP that it takes. So if you guys got all duked out in some Brotherhood of Steel power armor, then.
But I mean, I thought maybe your limb said most ones that have this, like, people have hit point distribution amongst their limbs, but
I didn't see that. I'll have to.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, that makes.
Yeah. So if it does, then oops. Done.
No, I don't think so. I didn't see anywhere. So
that means it's your turn.
So now I will fling open the door and I'll go after him while he's reloading.
Okay. So you kind of like open the door and you basically go. You're gonna move. You only need to use a minor action to move to get to him, and you can use a major action to attack.
Okay, I will attack him then.
Okay. Now, because that says sight, I think
it's +2 to my attack.
Yeah. So you'd have to roll a critical to tie that difficulty, I think.
The difficulty being what?
Yeah. All the difficulty of all tests was rely on vision by 2.
Right. Which means that I roll and add 2 to my result, right?
No, it means you have to get 2 more d20s than normal.
Oh.
Yeah. So roll your dice. Tell me what you get.
So like it's impossible almost.
Not necessarily, because you have your tag skills and everything like that. Your melee weapons 3. You would just roll, and it would give you an extra critical or an extra dice there.
Let's see then. All right, two 20s, right?
Yeah. Hopefully, you didn't roll 2 20s.
What do you mean? Oh no.
Because a
Nope.
critical success is always a 1. A critical,
No critical.
complication is there.
6 and a 12.
Okay. All right. So, Jeff, it's your turn. And you see, at this point, you see that, like, McIntosh has charged him, and you see this 10-foot super mutant fighting what looks to be an overstuffed pinata. But he's swinging pretty wildly right now, and you can tell that he still has dazed. His moves are still pretty dazed and wild based on.
And if he shoots me,
shot.
I'm dead. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, I'm trying to look and see what my special skills are. I wrote down the names and not the.
Your skills are Your skills are fast shot. If you take a second major action in combat and use it to make a ranged attack, the additional major action only costs 1 AP rather than 2. But you cannot benefit from the aim minor action. So the aim minor action does give you a bonus D20
Okay.
to do that. And I don't think you can aim. Well, maybe you can aim with melee attacks, but that's another way you could get.
I think you can.
Yeah, reroll D20 on the first. Yeah, if you aim, you reroll 1D20 on the first attack roll you make this turn. So you could possibly in that case because you moved, you couldn't do the aim action, but that's another thing you
Right.
can do to help improve your.
Okay, I'll do that next time.
And then you have center mass, which is when you make a range attack, you may choose to strike the target's torso location or equivalent for creatures that use a different table without increasing the difficulty of the attack. In addition, you may reroll 1d20 when making your test for your attack.
I'm going to use that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to use center mass. So I get an extra D20.
No, you may re-roll 1d20 when making.
I can re-roll one.
Yeah, I
So
guess
2.
Yeah, so you still get 2 there.
A 19 and a 6.
Okay, so you hit,
Roll a 19.
and you can re-roll the 19.
Okay.
I guess we could have re-rolled that last turn based on this wording.
Re-rolling the 19.
And you do have
An 8.
Oh. And remember, guys, you do have luck points too if you want to spend those.
How many do we have?
It's the same as your luck value, except in Jeff's case, which he has 4 because he has.
I had forgotten.
Yeah, I've got 4.
And what was the second roll you got there, Jeff?
An 8.
8 and 6.
Okay, so you succeed, but then you also get an action point because you succeeded by the extra 8. So go ahead and roll your 3 dice for damage.
A 6, a 6, and a 3.
Okay, so that's 2 plus the plus any damage effects that it has. And it doesn't look like it has any damage effects, so that's another 2 points of damage. So between him moving about and everything with doing the dance with your partner, you still manage to get a shot right in the ribs. He looks like he's pretty wounded at this point. You can tell that his work clothes are pretty torn from the bullets that you've been sending his way, and he looks pretty haggard because in addition to of course being shot a couple times, he obviously doesn't look as though he slept at all. And you're not really sure for how long. Okay, so Brent, he's going to try to attack you with his shotgun.
Did he reload?
No, he's trying to hit you with it.
Gotcha.
Oops.
Get him. I think I hit him pretty good on that one.
Ha. Man. 112. I think my favorite part is the fact that they hide the complications. Okay. So for whatever reason, he basically, and you can tell that this is a not a good situation, because he like goes and he takes a shotgun and he tries to swing at you, but he's wearing way too many clothes and his swing is wild. He leaves himself like wide open, kind of like, how if somebody moved past you, like he went to go swing and he basically exposed his entire flank. That's kind of what he did to you, Brent. It's your turn. His defense is reduced by 1 for the next one.
Okay, well, let's see if I can club him at all.
Yep. 2 successes.
So I am going to aim. That's a minor action, right?
Yep.
So I can re-roll one of these. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you do have to take the re-roll. So if you do worse in an attempt to...
Well, yeah. Trying to think, like, I don't think I can even hit him because I can get 2 successes and that's the most I can get.
But yeah, his defense, because he's off balance right now, his defense is lowered by 1. He failed and he got a complication with his strike.
I rolled a 17 and 11.
Okay.
So I'll roll the 17.
Uh-huh.
Because the 11 is technically a success by my...
Yeah.
And a 14, which are both successes by my skill.
Yep, it is. So you, with your massive strength, actually have a baseball bat that does 7 combat dice of damage.
All right, let's roll that and see how it goes.
Just 7?
Just 7.
Go, smash him.
3 ones, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 6.
Okay, so 2, how many?
3 ones, 3 ones. I have to remember because they disappeared already. 3 ones, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, and a 6, I believe.
And you just rolled this in Discord?
No, I rolled this in the roll-y place.
Oh, okay. I don't have that saved on this computer. So if you got the 3 ones, that's 3 points of damage. You got the 4, which is no damage. The 5 and the 6.
4 and a 6.
4 and a 6. So you do 4 points of damage. Wait.
Hopefully to his head.
1. So say that again, and I hate to do that. So 3 ones.
Let me see if I can pull it back up. Yeah, it disappeared already. 3 ones, a 2, a 3. So 3 ones, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 6. That's
okay, so that's 3. Yeah. So basically, it won't matter where you hit him, but you can roll where you hit him.
Let's see where I hit him.
Yeah, just for the
let's see.
Just for morbidity, really.
Just
So I smashed the shit out of his left arm.
Okay. So this is one of those situations where he's open. You're, even with your vision being as blurry as it is, you're basically just aiming for this like target dummy, and you get almost like you just do this wild super hack swing and you basically hit a home run. The bat, you're lucky the bat didn't break with how hard you hit this guy in the side, because he gets hit and he kind of crumples over your bat like that as he is propelled forward. And you hear the crunch of bones and he just kind of rolls and stops.
I keep hitting him until Crawl comes in and does something, because he did shoot me. So
it looks like enough after about the 4th swing. I don't think he's getting up. It's okay. You got him. As I try to limp with each leg injured.
Your kind of legs just...
I see that you're hurt, and I walk over and help you over. But yeah.
Well, I'm trying to help you because
I'm dizzy as shit, but I can walk.
I could just see this. You know,
You just point me in the you just point me in the right direction. Tap me.
Is there a pack animal or a cart or anything?
Well, we probably have your Brahmin with us.
Oh yeah. Okay. We need to try to load up. Well, no. Let's just load ourselves into the cart.
Yeah, I suggest we just leave.
The bodies are pretty self-explanatory.
I say, leave him. Get sheriff. That's what I say.
Yeah. And then maybe the doctor. Not for them.
Definitely doctor.
Okay. So one of the things you can do is you can treat an injury using intelligence plus medicine, and that'll treat an injury sustained from a critical hit. Passing the test allows the patient to ignore the penalties.
Intelligence plus medicine?
Yep.
I have a 7.
Oh.
I have a 4 intelligence and a 3 medicine.
Well, you could probably help yourself and then me.
So he wasn't critically injured, so this doesn't heal you.
Oh, it can stop my +2 though.
Yeah, that's what this would help.
Okay, let me try to do that for.
You can help my head injury.
So
you can pick the buckshot out of my face.
A D20 plus.
It's the same thing. 2D20.
2D20.
Oh, just
and then
2D20.
you have to get under your 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! Under 7. An 11 and a 16. I definitely think your skull is cracked. I don't think I can do anything about it.
I'm definitely hurt. Well, I'm just glad you didn't roll a complication on your medical check.
Well, I mean, you know, it's
like I'm in a lot of pain, but I'm gonna pick out this buckshot, and then
I'm gonna grab them splinters.
In Delta Green, you can actually kill someone if you fumble on a medical check. You actually do damage.
That sounds fair.
You actually do damage. You actually do more damage if you're trying to help them and you fail your medical check.
Jeez, that's terrible. Okay, so basically, you patch him up. You put some rough bandages around his head and everything like that.
They're definitely clean.
And you know, you, Brent, feel a lot better, and you can kind of your vision starts to.
I don't feel better. He didn't succeed.
Well, I'm saying in so much as that your vision clears up a little bit, so you can actually see where you're going or what.
You stop the blood flow, I think, is what you into my eyes, and that helps a little.
See, that's better. We're gonna get you to the doc.
I now have like a bandage that's been used 2 or 3 times now wrapped around my head. They're like
it's cleaner than the bandages I sold to the doctor the last time we were here.
That's probably true. It's still sticky, I swear.
So okay. So I know that you guys are like you go and get you like limp over to your Brahmin and Brent
and my arm hurts.
And you guys go get the Brahmin, but do you do any other looking about before you leave?
No, I think we need to get the authorities here since town is so close.
Yeah, we found them. That was what we were supposed to do. I found him multiple times with my bat.
You found him one good time with your bat.
Oh no, I hit him a bunch of times.
That's fair. So basically leaving Joseph where he lay, kind of in a pool of his own muck. You guys head back towards the festivities. It seems like the time it took you to get there plus the time it took you to get back, because you definitely went slower on the way back. Just the days of the fast-paced combat and everything like that.
I think it's the days of being shot.
Yeah. You find that most of the main festivities around Founders Day seem to be wrapping up or have wrapped up. Going to find Jesse, you like as soon as you show up, he looks stricken and he's like, "What in the hell happened?"
Joseph, that murdering son of a bitch, killed his wife and shot us both.
Joseph? He wouldn't hurt a fly. What?
Untrue.
He was wearing every stitch of clothes that we believe he owned, screaming that he didn't know who that woman was in the house.
I do this.
Didn't know us. and shot at us when we opened the barn door.
Oh, man, it looks like you've dealt with something fierce there. So what did you do to Joseph then? Is he
I shot him, and he finished him with the bat. He wasn't coming. I tried to offer him surrender, and he refused. And then once we were both shot, it was him or us.
Well, this is terrible news. Terrible news. What it sounds like is that they kind of like looks down. It's like, it sounds like Joseph went feral, but I've never heard of no feral ghoul talking and chatting with people. So
he didn't recognize us. He looked like he hadn't slept. I don't know if he was cold. I can't explain all the clothes. We didn't really search the body. We figured we needed to get help.
well, so let's do this. It's a tragedy what happened to Joseph and Teresa. But the last thing we need right now, especially on a day like today, or really any day, is to be stirring up any kind of rumors about people going feral or anything like that. And I appreciate what you did for us. If he was going to be a problem, I'm glad you were able to take care of him. I'm sorry that it had to be, he had to go that way. But we'll send some folks out to the farm to see, what we can about the situation and at least give him a proper burial. But I hate to do this. I'm going to have to call in another favor. Crawl, could you ask around real quiet, like, and see, does anybody else notice anything happening? This seems real strange. Teresa and Joseph, they were pillars of the community, and for him to do something like this, that ain't right.
No, it definitely seems out of character, and I think once we see the doctor and get patched up and get some food in us and a good night's sleep,
Doctor,
I'll open the wagon in the morning, and folks will come and trade. And so, everybody likes to talk about what's been going on and hear the news about the places that we've been. So I'd be happy to try to find out if there was anything else strange. Unfortunately, I don't know how many people heard the gunshots, but his shotgun was loud. Some people may, already know, but that's your business, not mine.
Well, I'm sure people will chalk it up to overzealous celebrations, if anything. And maybe that's the story we tell them for the time being. But I would appreciate it if you could check around and see if there was something we missed. We don't want people to get all worried that there's something happening. I mean, you guys remember, right? Back at the beginning of the town, that blood plague on the rad hogs, that was terrible. And we don't need another crisis like that. But this being the ghouls, ugh, who knows what would happen? It would rip this town apart. So, with that being said, that's Act 1. That's going to be the end of that right there. You guys getting back so late, he thinks the doctor's probably not in, but he's willing to give you, I think he can give you a stim. And I'll look that up for next time. But otherwise, The next day you can go check in with the doctor and all those kind of things. Okay. So we'll go ahead and call it there. I know we're doing only a short part of this time. This is an adventure.
We did get a late start.
But we got a late start. Computer technical difficulties, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So hopefully next time will be better. And we will continue with Act 2 of this game. So, so far, how is it going? How does it feel?
No, I think that's good.
Deadly?
Yeah, it's deadly. It's a deadly game.
It feels a little deadly, doesn't it?
I got hurt less than Brent did, and that was half of my hit points. I was like,
I was lower than half.
Yeah, no, well, you had to have been.
You got shot for 9.
I have a lot more hit points than you.
Yeah. And unless I'm doing something wrong, like that spread is bad. Like
No,
that, I
spread
mean,
is if it does damage to multiple areas
yeah.
and
Yeah,
increases the damage, that's pretty bad. Yeah.
I'll double check to make sure I read that right on there, but that's like because it does half damage to each other location, and that's pretty rough. Also, I wasn't expecting to critically hit first shot out of the gate.
Well, if
But
it's going to happen,
it's going to happen to Brent. That's true. That's true.
I think it's happened more than once in games we've played where I get credit on like right away.
Yeah. Well,
Didn't that happen in the Icewind Dale D&D game where my lizard man was like dead on the floor for half of it? Like, wasn't
not the
that
first attack.
but like the second or third?
Well, it was a level
It was
one
early
adventure,
on, if I remember correctly.
and I can't say that was my finest moment because it did turn into like two people with wiffle bats missing each other, which was
And merry-go-round.
kind of hilarious.
He was
And oh
walking
yeah, the merry-go-round as he ran around it.
walking the undead around the pillars in the center. Yeah.
Yeah, I do recall that. I think at that point you guys finally were like, maybe there's some other solutions we can do here.
And I said, I'm dead on the floor.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where there wasn't a lot of time to try to help somebody.
No. Well, there's only two people, which what do we
Yeah.
know about D&D and two people? Sometimes it's
No,
hard.
that wasn't two people on that one. That was
Wait, yeah, I thought there was more of. I thought there was 3 or 4 of us.
Oh, was
three.
there three? There was three of us? Oh.
yeah, there was C was there as well. The big C.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're saving our friends' names to protect the innocent or whatever. But yeah, that was because it was. I know you, Jeff. We're doing something, and he was leading the ghouls, and Brent was strategically
On the floor,
supervising.
taking a nap.
He was supervising.
He was
Jesus.
praying for death saves to be good.
No,
Yeah,
but yeah,
there was
I think the
definitely death saves. I remember that.
so
Yeah,
the
9 points of damage is a lot. We don't have very many hit points either, so it's pretty deadly.
Yeah, well, and it seems like
Which is fine. I'm not complaining. I was a little surprised right at first. That's fine.
Yeah, no, that's fine. The one thing I would say is that with this game, and I think I had mentioned it is like action points is the economy and stuff. Is that look for reasons to roll dice effectively, right? So like,
is there a spot on the sheet? I got an action point. I don't see any place to put it.
You would put action points in your.
Just put them in note. Like there's a box under your hit points. I just put them there.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's funny.
Okay.
They go away, so that's why they're not really on there.
Yeah.
Oh, so like I won't have that next session then? It was just for that combat?
I'll have to double check, but I think your action points are persistent. You can just never have more than 6 action points. So as a party,
sorry, I'm thinking about victory or momentum. I think I'm thinking momentum and Conan.
Oh yeah, I'll have to double check. But yeah, so you want to look for reasons to.
I like it though. I like the 2d20s though. Like I like it more than I thought I was gonna like it.
Oh yeah, so far.
Yeah, I think once you get it down, it'll be pretty easy.
Yeah, what's interesting is that it seems like a difficulty of 1 is trivial, and a difficulty of 3 is really hard,
super hard.
Like it's just like the difficulty just like.
Well, you have to be able to roll. You have to have action points to buy extra dice at that point.
Extra dice.
Yes, you have to.
Critical.
Because you're never going to make it on 2 dice.
Yeah, and so like as an example, and this is something I could have invited you to do, but being as your veteran role players, is that like if you would have, for example, explored the house, you could have said, "Oh, I want to explore the house and I want to search." And, I'm gonna search using my dice. It's difficulty 0. Successes then create action points. Does that make sense?
I think
that makes sense.
From a role playing standpoint, that's going to be hard because that feels pretty gamey to me.
And I know that. I'm just letting you know that that's kind of the.
I'll probably use the rally more often as an action.
Yeah. But yeah, so there'll be times in which I trigger those kind of things, and I probably should have said, you search the house, but I wanted you guys to be more in control rather than kind of like,
no,
do this.
That's
so
fine. We did what we did, and I felt we were searching the house, but I don't think we were.
We didn't roll anything though, and you have to roll. You have to roll.
Yeah, it's a one floor. Not really.
Well, and that's
But-
and also he just went around the house searching for a person, so it was not
Right,
really
yeah. And if we have action points to start with, like if I would have realized we have action points, I would have used action points.
I don't think you do.
Yeah, if we don't, then I would have, like I said,
Unless
I
you
would have
start with
rallied.
one action point.
So we have to generate them.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I would have rallied.
No, that makes sense.
And then
So 13. Yeah, it was really the part that really got you was the fact that that you got.
I silhouetted myself in a doorway.
Yeah, you basically were like a big target.
Yeah, which I had kind of thought about after I did that, but whatever.
Yeah.
That's what he would have done. So
yeah, no, it's fine. It's just that it's interesting because for me, like I feel I didn't want to necessarily
you were trying to kill me. I know. It's fine.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't say that you start with any action points.
You probably I don't. You probably don't.
Action points. Root pool 19, options 18, 317. Let's see what happens if it feeds 317. Safety. What? No. Yeah, it doesn't seem as though it mentions anywhere I found that you start with them, but they generate in so many different ways. Like, I mean, you'll like I said, and that's what that skill 0 is for. Is to, and I hate to say it, but it does feel like that's by design, as they want you to like generate action points kind of in a gamey fashion. Which the only comment I have about that is that for being like a narrative based role playing game, to seem like to fish for action points fish for successes. That's a little
weird. Yeah, that is weird.
But I mean, I get where they're coming from because the meta currency of action points and everything like that going back and forth. It's a and thing
it might just be that a scene. It might just be getting used to it, and a scene's more set up in a situation to generate action points. Yeah. Like, and once we understand that, it wouldn't be as gamey for us to say, "Oh, we're gonna look in the house and then roll some dice."
Yeah.
So
and what's interesting to me is that like with Jeff, going and checking her, I could have had him roll perception plus medicine, but then what if he failed? You don't know. You don't know if she's dead or if she doesn't have a pulse. You just don't know. Like her head's flopping around.
Yeah, maybe she's in a position that isn't,
she's in a coma. Maybe like it just seems like that would have been a weird outcome.
I wouldn't have had you roll for that either.
Yeah, I just maybe.
What would I have done if you roll a medical check? Maybe notice something about like if they were sick or something else. Like just I don't know.
You could have noticed like bruises or something like what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think they have other things that you could have done. But it's like if the success like because it's like when you roll dice, there's a chance of complication.
Well, you should never make people roll for information that's obvious. Will never do that, and I will never ever do that because of that very reason. Like, what if they fail? I think she's alive, and he starts giving her, chest compressions for the next 15 minutes.
But I just thought of this. This would have been an amazing complication, though. Like, so you go in to check, and you're like, "Oh, she's moving. She must be alive. She must be okay. I better do something." And like a rad roach pops out of her chest, having like
or something like that. That'd be fine. Yeah, something like that.
That would be a good complication. I'll admit that. I wish I would have been good enough to think about.
Yeah, I mean, that might be the stuff that you have to do. You have to start doing. Like that's what you have to do in like Numenera. That's what like intrusions are for failures. Is this situation's just got much worse because you messed up.
Yeah. And a rad roach isn't exactly that dangerous, but it would have heightened the tension, I think. Yeah, but that's my point.
Danger's not 0, right?
Right.
What's that?
Well, I mean, the rad roaches can attack you. They can hurt you.
Well, and in Brent's case, there would be like the Vorpal rad roach.
I would have been hurt, and then I would have gotten shot, and I would be dead. And then their family robot would join you on their quest for vengeance.
Exactly.
I had just found McClintock, and he's dead. I will swear vengeance against all.
No, it would
all
have been
the
it would have been the
Wasteland.
Ghoul family's robot. He was out
Oh.
tending to the pigs, and then he came back and he's like, "They're dead? They wouldn't have done that. Somebody must have done it. Vengeance will be mine." With his little metal clamp. Yeah.
The pinchers pinch together. Vengeance
Yeah.
will be mine.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Well, at
Hey,
least,
about midway through the thought of getting shot a second time, I started to make plans.
I'm a super mutant and I'm big, but shotguns do hurt.
Shotguns do hurt. And you did manage to hit me. I have 2 pieces of armor, and you did manage to avoid both of them. So,
Well, there's a lot of places to shoot other than your torso and your arm or whatever.
yeah, what's amazing is it's an even spread. Like, your torso should actually be a wider spread.
It is. It's 3 to 8.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, like everything else seems to be. Oh, your head's only 2. Your arms and legs are 3 each.
So you also got lucky that you hit me in the head.
Yes. Like, I
Okay,
mean,
that's really what I was getting to, is you critted and then hit me in the head.
yeah, I looked at that because I was like, oh, well, because it wasn't lucky, because like the damage for crits isn't based on like, what I'm saying. So like if you roll a crit to hit, it's not necessarily it doesn't really do anything other than add successes.
Right.
It adds AP
and maybe an effect.
Well, no, but it's like, but that's the weird part. So you roll your 2 hit, and then you roll your 2d20. And if I get 2 hits, like a 2, like 2 successes, but I roll my combat dice and I roll 5 or more damage, then I crit. The one thing you can do though with your Slayer perk is that you can just spend a luck point and you can just automatically crit.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to, I don't know. I think you still roll the damage though. You just but in your case, with having so many combat dice, kind of are more often going to crit than not, considering 2/3 of the time you'll do a damage. It's just that with your bat, it doesn't really have a lot of like qualities to it, so it's not going to do any of those special.
Yeah, I need something fancier than my bat.
Well, you can modify your bat. I don't know if you saw that bats had modifications to them.
I didn't look at that yet. No.
Yeah, you can get. I mean, there's 2 bats. There's the wooden bat and the aluminum bat. And I think you can add like spikes and stuff like that, kind of like
spikes and chains and stuff.
Zombie killer
and a saw blade.
Yeah, that's what you need. A saw blade.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, I would need a saw blade. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
You've seen the Fallout saw blade weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I did watch that Space Marine 2 thing with him having a chainsword, and that's always every time I watch a Space Marine trailer, there's always a chainsword doing a lot of visceral damage.
The Space Marine games, the 2 Space Marine game. Well, the first Space Marine game was really good at like you felt like a Space Marine. Like your movement felt heavy but fast. Like they did a good job of making you feel like a Space Marine in that game.
Yeah, that's good. The second one, I think I pre-ordered it. I don't pre-order a lot of games, but like there's a few of them. And the problem with me not having my computer right now is I can't play that whatever
anything Rogue Trader.
Yeah, the Rogue Trader game I got that I was really excited about. My computer just blew up, and I was like, "Oh, I guess I can't play that."
Ouch.
Yeah, it sucks. It's a really cool looking game.
Soon, Mike. Soon you'll be able to play Rogue Trader.
Gosh, I'll be so excited for that. Okay, so I don't think I have anything else. Yeah, so like those are just my initial observations. I think honestly, the Fallout game, it seems like it's a pretty good setup for system, and we're not going to probably hit some of the more major systems that make it the Fallout game, like scavenging and stuff like that. But
it makes me more interested playing it a little bit more and running through combat a little bit more. It makes me more interested in running the combat game and Cohorts Cthulhu because they use those systems. So
the Conan game,
you were a little nervous about that.
Yeah, it's supposed to. Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty crunchy. That felt pretty good though. Yeah, Conan is 2d20, and then Cohorts is 2d20.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we're only at the front end of the combat. Like, there's a lot of little tweaks that you
do. And there is in Conan too. But just getting an idea of how the 2d20 work and the extra dice kind of made me more comfortable even already. So
good.
So we'll test out some more.
Yeah. So yeah, the next week. So next week we'll be doing Act 2. You'll be back in the town. You'll be investigating on behalf of Jesse Peregru, and we'll see how you guys investigate. Of course, after trying to find a doctor. And
Super well.
Bat forward. I have a very bat forward investigation style.
For whatever
I'll
reason,
probably do most of the talking.
the worst part about it is my brain didn't obviously go to the wooden bat that you had. I thought you had like bat forward, like. I was like, where did you get a bat?
That would be pretty funny too. My super mutant now has a pet bat that has absolutely no games.
And then I grab it by the legs and I beat people over the head.
Nothing in game, but now he has a pet bat. Good job.
It just seemed like a really, like, I was like, well, how is a bat like take this? Just do the Ozzy Osbourne like
baseball bat.
Yeah. I must not have gotten enough sleep.
Hey, at least he didn't run around calling it Lucille.
Yeah.
And talking to it, having his deepest conversations about, what's going on in his life.
Okay. Well, so with that, why don't we send our folks off? Probably the people that are going to be watching this in the recording and that have made it a whole 75 minutes. So, Jeff, do you want to tell them how to get a hold of us?
Yeah, you can find us. It's at Rollwise on Facebook, Threads, YouTube, and Twitter. Or you can email us, rollwiseguys@gmail.com.
And as always, thank you for listening, and roll well and roll wise. Have a good one, everybody.
See you, everybody.
Good night.